Alright, give me 1 minute to breathe. Hello, I'm Bobby Cinema. Welcome to another topic called, another talk about the Yankees versus Guardians division championship. Final game of the division championship. Winner is going to face them and face the Astros in the American League Championship. I'm also here to talk about the Top Gun Maverick movie and also the Jurassic World Dominion. Give me my review about it. You guys already know what happened. You guys already seen the movie, and I want to give you my review about it and how well it did. Well, if you guys have Wikipedia, you guys probably wouldn't know how much money it made in the box office. Maverick, aka Captain Pete Mitchell, was a test pilot. Even after getting over his best friend Goose, now trying to get through. Now after being a successful fighter pilot and graduating from Top Gun, he also became a test pilot for the military or the government military. Right now, our goal is to reach 180 or 200. We will try. We'll see what happens. You see here, I'm trying to reach 3 hours, and we want to see if we can do that. Do you know my watch hour is about in my channel? Hang on. It is 3,168. I know you guys don't believe me now, but I will show it to you. See, 3,168 watch hours. Not exactly good because right now I need nine. I'm short of 900. I need around 900 more watch hours to catch up to reach 4,000. That is the goal to reach if I want to get monetized. But never say anything impossible right now. Right now I kind of lost count about how many videos I have right now, but I have a lot of them. Anyway, back to Top Gun 2. It's been since 1986 that that movie was out. I don't think it was really impossible to get a sequel in that movie. There were times in my life I always kind of thought they wouldn't mean a sequel, but I guess they did. I guess they had to wait for a long time to get it. I think it took 30. Mostly for me, it took 30 years to get it. Do you know Top Gun was in 1986 was it was like a sequel to Officer and Gentleman back then. When Officer and Gentleman, there was a guy. Officer and Gentleman was like kind of like the training guy. It was kind of like training. Officer candidate school, like training to become a Navy pilot back then. That's what Top Gun was like about. It was kind of like a sequel to Officer and Gentleman. After the guys who graduate from Officer Candidates, OCS, Officer Candidate School in the Navy. Mostly after you get your commissioned, then you get to go to do flight training. Once there, you go to Waco, Texas, to get your jets. Man, I bet you guys are really tired right now. Right now in this sequel, where Maverick gets to teach a new generation of Top Gun pilots who are chosen to go to who were chosen to go to Top Gun. Mostly he was reluctant to take it and take the men, but he had to. It's not easy taking in new cadets. In this plot summary here, that the Navy has been tasked with destroying an unsanctioned uranium enrichment plant, which sits in a deep depression in the end of a canyon, is defended by the SA surface to air missiles, SAMs, GPS jammers, and what appears to be a fifth generation Sukhoi 47 fighters. Maverick devises a plan to attack within two pairs of FA 18EF Super Hornets. He learns that he will not take part in the strike, but instead he will have to train an elite group of Top Gun graduates to assemble the Air Boss Vice Admiral Bo Cyclone Simpson. Maverick's out dogfights his skeptical students to win their respect. Lieutenant, the new generation to do this mission to destroy the uranium enrichment plant. As Lieutenant Jake Hammer Surson, Bradley Rooster Bradshaw, son of Maverick's late best friend, and Rio Nick Goose Bradshaw. Rooster dislikes Hangman's cavalry attitude, while Hangman kind of reminds me of a lot like kind of like Iceman in that time. Also he reunites with his ex girlfriend Penny Benjamin. He used to be Penny Benjamin used to be the admiral's daughter back then. Oh man, her father gave him a hard time. Gave Maverick a hard time for going out with her. Her ex girlfriend also runs a bar where Maverick hangs out in. Since Maverick is reluctant to further his nephew Rooster's career. Mostly Maverick was kind of reluctant to let his son join the Navy aviation. Also makes him a hypocrite since his father died in Vietnam back then. Man, can you imagine trying to reach 180 here? Not easy. You guys already know how the movie ended. You guys already know how the movie ended. You guys saw the movie, so why not just read the entire plot? Over 30 years after graduating from Top Gun, United States Navy Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell is a test pilot. Despite Maverick's many distinguished achievements, repeated insubordinations had kept him in the flag rank. His friend and his former Top Gun rival, Admiral Tom Iceman Kazansky, is a commander of the U.S. Pacific Fleet and often protects Maverick from being grounded. Rear Admiral Chester Hammer Kane plans to shut down Maverick's Dark Star scamjet program in favor of funding drones. To save the program from cancellation, Maverick changes the flight plan to the upcoming test for the Mach 9 to Mach 10 to meet the program's contract specification. The prototype was destroyed, but however, Maverick pushes beyond Mach 10. Iceman again saves Maverick's career by ordering to NSAS North Island to next generation, but Hammer warns Maverick that the era of crew fighters aircraft will soon end. But the Navy has been tasked with destroying an unsanctioned uranium enrichment plant, which I told you guys about earlier, so I'm telling you again. Which is in deep depression at the end of the canyon. It is defended by SA-3 SG service missiles, SAMs, GPS jammers, and what appears to be fifth generation Sukhoi soon S-57 fighters. Maverick devises a plan to attack two pairs of FA and 818EF Super Hornets. He learns that they will not take part in the strike, but instead they'll train an elite group of Top Gun graduate assembles of Air Boss Vice Admiral Bo Cyclone Simpson. Maverick's out dogfighters, skeptical students to win their respect. Lieutenant Jake Hangman Surson and Bradley Rooster Bradshaw, Son of Maverick, and also Rio Nick Goose Bradshaw clash. Rooster was upset with him because he couldn't let him in the Navy, let him kind of cost him his chance to go to the Naval Academy back then. Because he needed his recommendation to go there. While Hangman criticized Rooster's cautious flying, but Maverick reunites his former girlfriend, Penny Benjamin, who is a bar owner and also he was also the ex-admiral's daughter, who gave Maverick a hard time for dating Penny. Penny reveals that Rooster's mother made him promise before she died that Rooster would not become a pilot. Rooster, was under the promise, resents Maverick for impending his military career and blames his father's death. Maverick is reluctant to further interfere with Rooster's career, but an alternative to send him to an extremely dangerous mission. To tell his doubts that Iceman, who has terminal throat cancer, also an alternative to send him to an extremely dangerous mission. He tells his doubts to Iceman that terminal throat cancer, but before dying, Iceman advises it's time to let go and reassure that both the Navy and Rooster needs Maverick. While Maverick's protector is gone, Cyclone removes him from a structure following training incident with the FA-18 loss, but Cyclone relaxes the mission Parliament and easier to execute, but make him escape much more difficult. Though Cyclone's announcement makes an unauthorized flight through the training course, referred to parameters, proving that it can be done. Cyclone reluctantly appoints Maverick as team leader. Even though he could have been thrown out, even though he could have tossed him out of the Navy and also been dishonorably discharged, but thank God that never happened. Maverick flies to lead the FA-18E in the strike package, accompanied by Buddy Lasing, FA-18F, flown by Lieutenant Natasha Phoenix Trace, and WSO Lieutenant Bob Floyd. Rooster leads the second strike pair, which includes Lieutenant Robert Reuben Eback, Fitch, and Lieutenant Mickey Fanboy Garcia. 4 jets and aircraft carrier Tomahawk cruise missiles destroys the nearby airbase as they approach. The team successfully destroys the plane, but engaged in assailants from their escape. Rooster runs out counter missions. Maverick sacrifices his jet to protect Rooster, being Maverick to be killed, and the other orders are back to the carrier. But Rooster returns to find that Maverick safely injected and being targeted by M124 helicopter gunship. After destroying his gunship, Rooster is shot down by Sam and ejects. 2 running fade and took a F-14 Tomcat from the destroyed airbase. Maverick Rooster destroyed the 207 Su-57s as they arrive, running ammunition and countermeasures. Hangman arrives in standby to take down Su-57, and the plane turns safely. Rooster and Maverick work on the P-51 Mustang. Rooster takes a photo of the mission success, pinned alongside the photo of his late father. Is the Vice Admiral. Do you know it cost $170 million to make this movie? Can you believe that? $170 million to make Top Gun 2. And it made $1.483 billion. Can you believe it? Worldwide. It is unknown if Tom Cruise can actually do. It's unknown. Right now, Tom Cruise is doing another Mission Impossible movie. Right now. Joseph Kosinski was directing this movie. He also directed Tom Cruise back in Oblivion. Tom Cruise's movie Edge of Tomorrow did really well in the box office. He was, well, at least the guy was a master of science fiction, just like in Oblivion. He worked with Morgan Freeman in Oblivion. Even in Mission Impossible, Fallout. Tom Cruise was nearly in his 50s, and he does his own stunts in Mission Impossible. Can you believe that? In Mission Impossible Fallout, it cost $178 million to make this movie, and it made $791 million and $7 million. That's how much it cost. That's how much it made. $791 million worldwide. There are other two out there that he's gonna do. His next movie, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, is part 1. It will be released on July 14th, 2023. It cost $290 million to make this movie. Man. If I was me, I don't think you should put it in theaters if it's going to fail in the box office. But one thing I always love is I love action movies. And that's one thing movie theaters they should use is more action movies. Yep, pretty cool. Mission, the sequel from Dead Reckoning for Mission Impossible is July 28th, 2024. And Tom is already starting that 2024 version. So it's gonna be a 2-part movie. They don't do this a lot of times in movies like this. Take like the Transformers film series. The first Transformers was in July 3rd, 2007, and Revenge of the Fallen was June 24th, 2009, and The Dark of the Moon was June 29th, 2011. And Age of Extinction was June 27, 2014, and Transformers Last Night was 2017. I think that's when I think they stopped making more movies back then. Even the Bumblebee movie that was on the prequel made $400 million. I think might be a reboot. The Transformers Rise of Beast might be like a reboot or something. It's unknown. It's unknown what's going to happen. It might be a new reboot. And they'll do another prequel film in July 19th, 2024. Well, right now it made $4.85 billion. Roll for all the four that made all four. That made a lot of the Transformers film series made $4.85 billion. Yeah, one thing about take like the movie Jurassic Dominion. I'm gonna review about. Hey, it's uneasy speaking about this. It's uneasy speaking about the Jurassic World Dominion. I'm also going to speak about the World Series, about the division championship prediction. Our goal is to reach 180 minutes. Right now, we're trying to 180 or 200. That's not easy to speak out from this for a long time. Right now, it costs the movie Jurassic World Dominion costs 165 or to $185 million and made $1 billion. Even Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum, and Sam Neill all returned. All returned back to the Jurassic Park series. Colin Trevorrow is returned for the movie. Great Michael Crichton, he made this movie into a gold mine. So I'm going to read the entire plot. You guys know how the movie ended, so why not just read the plot? 4 years after the Lockwood Estate incident and the voices eruption of Isles Nublar, once extinct dinosaurs freely from roam to Earth and caused ecological disaster and animal cruelty. Amid global efforts to control the invasive species, the Bison Genetics established a dinosaur preserve in Italian Dolomites, which conducts genomic research in obsessive pharmaceutical applications. Claire Deering, Zaya Rodriguez, and Franklin Welb, still with the Dinosaur Protection Group, investigate illegal dinosaur breeding sites. Claire, partner Owen Grady, helps relocate the stray dinosaurs at the remote in the Sierra Nevada mountains. Claire and Owen secretly raises 14-year-old Maisie Lockwood and protect her from the nefarious group seeking to exploit her unique genetic makeup. When Blue arrives as a sexually reproduced hatching, Maisie names it Bella. Grayson frustrating live in seclusion. Maisie sneaks away. Mercenaries kidnap her and capture Beta. Meanwhile, swarms of giant locusts are decimating U.S. crops. Paleontologist Dr. Ellie Statler observes the corporate grown crops using poison seeds are left uneaten, raising suspicions that created the insects. Ellie takes captured locusts to her former partner, paleontologist Dr. Alan Grant. They determined that the locusts are genetic engineered in Cretaceous period and through DNA and contemporary migratory locusts. Franklin, now with the CIA's Dangerous Species Division, informs that Claire and Owen that Maisie may have been taken to the Malta. Upon the arrival, as Claire and Owen infiltrated dinosaur black market with Owen's former Jurassic World colleague Barry Simbury, who's leading a raid to French intelligence. Carnivorous dinosaurs are unleashed during the foray, wreaking havoc. Claire and Owen learned that that Maisie and Beta were transported by Bison. Sympathetic cargo pilot Kayla Waits agrees to fly them there. Quotation. Dr. Ian McKellen, now working for Boyson, has sought Ellie's help to expose CEO Dr. Louis Doxson after communications director Ramsey warned of Dodgson's illegal activities. Dodgson explained to Dyson's course former engine geneticist Dr. Henry Wu to modify the transistors locusts to control the world's food supply. Wu denounces the plan, but saying it's closed global femininity to the locust spread unchecked. Wu meets Maisie to explain to former colleagues. Dr. Charlotte Lockwood used their own DNA to replicate and give birth to genetic identical Maisie. Charlotte altered Maisie's DNA to prevent her from adhering to the fatal disease which she had. Wu believed that Maisie and Beta's sexual conception and DNA are trying to keep creating a pathological halt to the locust outbreak. A also attacks Kayla's plane in Boysen's airspace, forcing no one in Kayla to crash land with Claire is ejected. After separate encounters with the Tarzan preparator and dispersed, the three regroup inside Boysen. Ian and Ramsey guide Ellie and Alan into accessing a restricted lab to obtain the locust DNA sample. They encounter Maisie there and take her with them. Discovering that to the breach, Dawson incinerates the locusts to destroy the evidence, but resulting in infernal escapes, the evidence begin to wildfire around the site. Alan, Ellie, and Maisie barely escape before finding Ian. They meet Owen, Claire, and Kayla, and Ramsey later join Dodson flies through dinosaur embryos via hyperloop, but he becomes trapped in a tunnel and killed by 3 dinosaurs as the group work together. Owen captures Beta. They and Wu escape in Boysen helicopter during a battle with Gwen Sources and the park's Tyrannosaurus Rex. Ellie and Alan rekindle their relationship before testifying with Ian and Ramsey against Boysen. Owen, Claire, and Maisie return home and reunite Beta and Blue. We release a whole locust and pathogens to gradually interact in the swarms. Dinosaurs are human adapt. New coexistence of the United Nations declares Boysen Valley International Dinosaur Sanctuary. Ah, man. Don't you love Jurassic Park? When Steven Spielberg first got a chance to direct this movie, he wanted to do it. You know it cost $63 million to make this movie back then? You know, Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum and Rich Attenborough were the main stars of the group. You know, Richard Attenborough passed away on August 24, 2014. He was the main guy for Jurassic Park. Wish he was around to see. Wish he was around to see the rest of the Jurassic Park movies. I know you guys are tired right now. So am I. But like you said, right now we're trying to do right now. We're right now. Right now we're all all trying to reach our goal of 180 minutes right now, or 200 minutes. So I'm going to read Jurassic Park, 1993 plot. Industrialist John Hammond has created a theme park, cloned dinosaurs, Jurassic Park, on a tropical Elsa Nibbler. After a dinosaur handler was killed by a velociraptor, the park investor, represented by lawyer Donald Gennaro, demands safety certifications. Gennaro invites mathematician Ian McKellen, while Hammond, paleontologist Alan Grant, and paleontologist Ellie Statler. Upon arrival, the group is shocked to see a live brontosaurus. It's kind of hard to say that word. It's kind of hard to say that. It's called the Brachiosauruss. At the park's visitor center, the group learned that the cloning were accomplished by extracting dinosaur DNA from prehistoric mosquitoes preserved in the amber. DNA from frogs and other animals used to fill the gaps of the genome of the dinosaurs and to prevent breeding of all dinosaurs were made by female by direct chromosome manipulation. And the group witnesses the hatching of a baby velociraptor and visits the raptor enclosure. During lunch, the group debates the ethics of cloning and the creation of the park. Malcolm warns about the implication of genetic engineering and scoffs at the park's consolation, saying that it will eventually break down. Hammond's grandchildren, Lex and Tim, join the tour of the park, while Hammond oversees the control room. The tour does not go as planned because most dinosaurs failing to appear, and the group is encountering the sick Triceratops. It's cut short when a tropical storm approaches. Most of the park employees leave the mainland on a boat while the visitors return to electric tour vehicles, except Statler, who stays behind with the park's veterinarian to study the Triceratops. Jurassic disgruntled lead computer programmer Dennis Neatery has bribed Dodson, a man who worked for Hammond's corporate rival, to steal the dinosaur embryos. Neatery deactivates the park's secretary system to gain access to the embryo storage room and the embryos inside the containers disguised as shaving cream can, but nerdy sabotage also cuts the power to the tour vehicles, stranding them just near Transfer's Rex paddock. Most of the park's electric fences also deactivated, along with the Triceratops Rex, the T-Rex, to escape and attack the group. After the T-Rex overturns 4 vehicles, it injures Malcolm and devours Gennaro, while Lex and Tim escape. On his way to deliver the embryos to the island docks, Neary becomes lost in the rain, crashes the Jeep Wrangler, and is killed by the Dilophosaurus. It's kind of hard to pronounce that. Dilophosaurus. It's kind of hard to spell that. I don't know what you usually call that, Dilophosaurus, but it's kind of hard to spell that one. Sadler helps the game warden, Robert Muldoon, search for survivors, only to find that he injured Malcolm. Just before the Tyrannosaurus returns to chase them away, Grant, Tim, and Lex take shelter at the treetop. Encounter a Brachiosaurus, so they later discover the broken shell of a dinosaur egg. Grant concludes that the dinosaur has been breeding, according because of their frog DNA. West African frogs can change their sex in a single-sex environment, allowing the dinosaurs to go as well. Right now, I'm going to take a breather right now. Until I finish the rest of it, our goal is to reach, I won't finish the rest of the story until we reach the 40th mark. I wonder if you guys are really tired doing this. You know, Michael Crichton did a good job reading this book. You're writing this book. Even half the times, even if I had to write Jurassic Park, I didn't even know what to say or what to do. I'm a good writer, but mostly for me, I always had to take it in consultant or later. It's like when you write about Jurassic, it's like writing about Jurassic Park. A lot of times you don't even know how to do things. You have to be like super smart. You have to research, look things over, what to do and what to say. You can't just write what you say. It's about what you do. It matters. Writing a lot of, it's easy to write a plot summary, but writing the whole movie, that takes time, days, weeks, and years. Mostly for me, you have to do a lot of research to learn this stuff. And that's what Michael Crichton did when he wrote the story. He had to do a lot of research to do this book, to write this book. This book was out on November 20th, 1990 back then. That was a good story back then when he wrote it. We're all gonna miss that guy. He was an ex-medical doctor who became a novelist. Take like Tom Clancy. He was an ex-insurance. He used to sell insurance. Also, back then he wanted to sell. Back then he wanted to join the military. Back then, but he had bad eyesight. His eyesight kind of prevented him to do it. But doesn't mean you can't write. Sam Neill was the lead on this movie in Jurassic Park. Well, he did return, and I think he only did one Jurassic Park movie, and that was in 1993. He never returned from the others. But he did return on Jurassic Park 3 in 2001. I think Spielberg should have directed Jurassic Park 3 back then. Look for me, he returned in Jurassic World Dominion back then. Well, I know you guys are tired right now or bored. Heck, even I don't even know what I'm doing. But like I said, I promise you guys I finish the story until when we reach the 40th mark, and we are going to do that. Well, there were recurring characters. Even Samuel L. Jackson was in this movie back then. Mostly he was a supporting role back then, but at least he got him. At least he got him noticed in this movie. So did Wayne Knight. He played the villain, Dennis Nedry back then. But at least he got him some notice in that movie. Well, we're in the 40th mark, so let's get back to it. Unable to decipher Nedry's code to reactivate the security system, Hammond and Chief Engineer Arnold reboot the park system. The group shut down the park's grid and treats an emergency bunker, while Arnold heads to the maintenance shed to complete the rebooting process. While Arnold fails to return Sadler and Muldoon head to the shed. They discover the shutdown as deactivate the remaining fences and release the velocitators. Muldoon distracts the Raptors while Sadler goes to turn the power back on before it being attacked by the Raptors. Discovered amidst several arm Arnold's arm. Meanwhile, Muldoon is caught off guard and killed by two other Raptors. Grant, Tim, and Leach reach the visitor center. Grant heads off to look for Statler, leaving Tim and Lex inside. Tim and Lex are pursued by the Raptors in a kitchen, but they escape when Grant and Statler, who have returned. The group reaches the control room, and Lex used Nedry's computer to restore the park's power and allow them to call Hammond, and who calls for help. They try to escape in front of the entrance, but they're cornered by the Raptors. But they escape, and the Tyrannosaurus appears and kills the Raptors. And Hammond arrives with a jeep with Malcolm. And the group boards a helicopter to leave the island. That was a good movie back then. It made $1 billion. I think they had it re-released a couple times for that one. Besides, even Jurassic Park in the first one didn't make $1 billion, but it should have been. But I think it made about $800-900 million. But I think they used a re-release in that one. They should have done that for Lost World too a couple of times. The next movie was the Lost World Jurassic Park. I'm gonna reach the second plot. Cost $73 million to make this movie. And Steven Spielberg returned and directed the sequel of this movie. Most of you don't see him direct a lot of sequels, but you do in Jurassic Park and also the Indiana Jones movies. Most of the Indiana Jones movies are usually the ones outside of his production company. Is that right? 4 years after the events of... Now I'm going to read you the plot summary of the Lost World of Jurassic Park, the sequel. 4 years after the events of Eli Newblar, a wealthy family docks their yacht ashore at nearby Ilsa Sorna. Their daughter wanders off and is attacked by a group of criminals, but is saved. An alien John Hammond invites mathematician Dr. Ian Malcolm to discuss the incident. In general, is now head to Hammond's nephew, Pete Ludlow, who used the incident to take control of the company from Hammond. Ian learns that Ian General has created the Jurassic Park dinosaurs on Isla Samoa, and Ludlow wants to exploit the island's creatures to save Ian from bankruptcy. So Hammond asks to join the team and will document the dinosaurs, their natural habitat, encourage the policy of non-interference of Ian's girlfriend, paleontologist Dr. Sarah Harding. Was hired to Already Island. Ian reluctantly agrees to go, but only to retrieve her. Ian travels to the island with Eddie Carr, an equipment specialist, an engineer, and Nick Van Owen, a video documentarian and activist. They find Sarah amidst the herd of the Stegosauruses, but she insists to stay continue her research. Ian is shocked when he discovers that his daughter, Kelly, is stowed away in a trailer, which serves as the mobile base. Ludlow and a mercenary team arrive on an island and capture the dinosaurs with help from game owners Roland Tembo and AJ Sindhu. Roland, second in command, Dieter Steek, and paleontologist Dr. Robert Burke. Malcolm realized Ludlow and Ian Jenner plan to ship the captured specimens to a proposed Jurassic Park attraction in San Diego. Nick and Sarah capture the dinosaurs, but the animal wreaked havoc in General Temp camps. On the way to the trailer, Nick rescues the injured T-Rex infant that Roland used as bait to hunt its father. Nick and Sarah treat the infant's broken leg. By the transfer's adults arrive and claim their infant and destroy their trailer and devour Eddie during, the, during their attempt to rescue the group. Ian, Sarah, Nick, and Kelly are rescued by Ludlow's team. They're forced together to lose all communication equipment. No, I'm not going to let you finish the rest of the story until we reach the 50th mark. Once we reach the 50th mark, I will finish the rest of the story. Man, that's another lost world. Wonder if anyone's watching right now. You know, I don't know. Right now, our goal is to reach 180 minutes or 200 minutes. I can't believe it cost $73 million to make this movie, and it made $618 million. That's a lot of money back then. You know, there's no lower. Only thing I care about is if it makes money. That's all I care about. You know, too bad if anyone invested in Jurassic Park, I would have made a fortune right now. You know, if I put $100 on Jurassic Park back then, I could have probably made it. I probably would have made a few $100 back then. Besides, you know, a person can invest in the Star Wars movies. Imagine putting $25 in the Star Wars movie. But if you put $25 in there, you can make a. I bet you could double it after the movie makes money. Well, like you said, our job is to make sure it reaches the 50th. Our job is to reach the 108th mark or the 200 mark. Whatever goal we decide, we're going to make sure it goes there. I know you guys are practically tired right now. So am I. Try holding this video without a tripod. I don't think a tripod could help me out in this one. Not for 3 hours, anyway. Well, we're almost there. Right now, our goal is to reach 180 in 200 minutes. I think he already told you that a million times, but like I said, I'm trying to keep conversation right now about Jurassic Park. We're almost there right now. Once we reach our 50th mark, I will get a bit. We will finish the rest of the plot. Well, here we are. Ian, Sarah, Nick, and Kelly are rescued by Ludlow's team. Are forced to work together after losing their communication equipment. They elect to walk in massy inland to an abandoned InGen base to call for help. During a break, Stark goes into the wilderness alone to relieve himself and is killed by a group of commandment. I'll spell it out. COMPSOGNATHTHUS. After the team sets a camp for the night, they are ambushed by Tyrannosaurus adults. Burke is devoured, and everyone else is in the field as the long grass containing a pack of velociraptors. VELOCIRAPTORS. Raptors, which killed AJ and most of the InGen team. Ian, Sarah, Kelly, and Nick reach the InGen base, fight out three velociraptors, and successfully radio the helicopter extraction. After being rescued, Nick reveals that they stole Roland's ammunition to prevent him from killing his trophy, but they learn Roland sedated the male Tyrannosaurus with Twinklards. Instead, InGen personnel arrive on the island and secure the male and infant. Roland declines Lolo's offer at the San Diego park, reflecting AJ's death and the morality of Lolo's scheme. In San Diego, Ian and Sarah attempt to convince Lolo to abandon his plans, but the ship carrying the male Tyrannosaurus suddenly crashes into the docks. The crew is found dead. Tyrannosaurus breaks free and goes to rampage in the city. Ian and Sarah locates the infant as planned park to lure them back to the docks. Lolo pursues the animals onto the ship and tries to catch the cargo, but he's injured by the adult and mauled to death by the infant. Sarah used the tranquilizer gun to sedate the male. Ian seals the cargo holder doors. The afternoon, the Niners were shipped back at the island solo, accompanied by a naval escort, while Ian, Sarah, and Kelly watch Hammond. Televised interview announced that America and Costa Rica have declared that island as nature reserves. Mm-hmm. Well, this is one. The third Jurassic Park movie is not directed by Steven Spielberg, but it's directed by Joe Johnston. Right, right now, Dino cost $93 million to make Jurassic Park 3. I think Spielberg's kind of disappointed. He wished that he could direct this movie, but right now he's concentrating DreamWorks in 2001. So somebody else is going to be directing this movie for him. 12-year-old Eric Kirby and his mother, Dr. Sam Neill kind of returned for this third Jurassic Park movie. And right now I'm going to read the next Jurassic Park 3 movie for you guys. 12-year-old Eric Kirby and his mother's boyfriend, Ben Hildeberg, is go parasailing near the restricted island Samoa. The boat's crew was killed by an unknown attacker, prompting them to detach the line before the vessel crashes to the rocks. Eric and men drift towards the island. 8 weeks later, paleontologist Dr. Alan Grant struggles to secure funding for his velociraptor research and proves the public's obsession of the events of Isla de Nublar. Mm-hmm. Rand discusses the research with longtime colleague Ellie, who's hypothesized that the velocitators were associated with beyond even primates in Montana. In Montana, his assistant Billy Burson used a three-dimensional partner replicate of velocitator larynx. Paul and Amanda Kirby are a same wealthy couple. Offer to fund Grant's research if he gives them an illegal aerial tour of the island somewhere. Grant luckily Grayson flies them there with Billy, the kid, Kirby's associate, under skies, and Cooper, and the pilot Nash. Grant learns that the Kirby's plan to the island. He protests, but Cooper knocks him unconscious. Grant awakens as the plane has landed, and the group flees with the predator approaches the runway. As the group boards the plane, Cooper is left behind. The plane lifts off the Spinosaurus emerges from the devours Cooper. Nash hits the dinosaur and the plane crashes in the jungle. The Spinosaurus attacks the plane and eats Nash, who has Paul's satellite phone. The survivors flee, only to encounter the Tyrannosaurus. Two discover that the dinosaurs fight, and the Spinosaurus kills the Tyrannosaurus as the humans escape. Grant confronts the Kirbys, who reveal that they're a middle-class divorced couple searching for their son Eric and Amanda's boyfriend, Ben. Government agencies declined to help because they deceived Grant and brought him along, mistaken believing to have experience on the island Samoa. The group searches for Eric, and Ben has traveled to the coast. They find Ben's corpse attached to the parasol Billy takes. They stumble upon the velociraptor nest, and Billy secretly places 2 eggs in his bed. In his bag. They soon discover an Inogen compound. When a velociraptor attacks them before vocalizing for its pack, the humans escape with a herd of Corthosaurus in Paraur. It's kind of hard to pronounce that. Parasaurus causing a stampede. Grant and Udesky are separated from the others. The velocitators trap Udesky and lure Paul, Amanda, and Billy from the place of tree. Along the course of the group rescuing Udesky, a velociraptor kills them before the pack departs. Grant observes the pack community and suspects they're searching for something. Tries to slip away in the ambush. Eric disrupts the pack with a canister of tear gas and brings Grant to overturn the supply truck that he's taken shelter. The following morning, Grant and Eric reunite with Billy and Kirby. The group narrowly escapes the Spinosaurus. Grant's Give me a minute. Grant suspiciously checks his bag and finds his lobster's eggs, which barely reveals he plans to self-refund. Grant decides to keep the eggs and hope the velociraptor may spare them and the eggs are returned. The group not only enters into a rivalry filled with Florentines. One thing with dinosaurs, it's hard to pronounce. Pteranodons, Pteranodon. Oh, man. I wonder if you guys are tired right now. Yeah, pretty, huh? Well, right now I'm gonna give myself a breather. When I want to reach the 70 mark, I will finish the rest of the story of the Jurassic Part 3 movie. Mm-hmm. I wonder if you guys are tired right now. Nope. None of you guys are tired. Neither am I. Once we reach the 7 mark, then I will finish the rest of Jurassic Park 3 million. I think I've told you that a million times. Well, right now it's Game 5 on against the Guardians versus the Yankees. Right now it's anyone's ball game right now. And it's bottom of the first, and we don't know score. It's still 0-0, so it's anyone's ball game. The winner against the winner will take on the Astros for the American League Championship, and that's in October, and that's tomorrow on 6:37 p.m. Right now, it's anyone's ball game in that one against the against the Cleveland Guardians versus the New York Yankees. If the Yankees win, they may have a chance to get back to the American League Championship, and might have a chance if they could beat the Astros 4 more games. They may have a chance to get back to the series after a 12-year 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. After a 13-year drought from the series. If the Cleveland Guardians could beat the Yankees and beat the Astros in the American League Championship and get back to the series, they'll be back to the series. There'll be a 6-year drought back from the series. Well, Game 1 of the National League Championship will start today in 7:03 against the Phillies and Padres. If one of them can beat 4 games, they will go to the series. One of them will go to the series. Don't you love? Don't you love? We don't have a lot of The last time the Indians won the series was in 1948. We had Satchel Paige back then. And the last time they've been to the series was in 1954, 95, 97, and 2016. Mm-hmm. To reach the 180 minutes mark, that's going to take forever, but if we're lucky, we can do it. Mm-hmm. What do you think the next season of baseball will be like? We know spring training is going to start until February. Even after the season's over, even after the season's over in November, December, January, they'll have at least 2 or 3 months off for spring training starts. The spring training is where anyone from the minor leagues or anyone who gets invited to play in spring training gets to try out. If they can make it through all the cuts, they don't get sent to the minors and get to play in the major leagues. wonder if anyone's watching right now. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell who's watching or who's watching. It's like the NFL right now. Right now it's October, but it's anyone's ball game. And that one who may go to the Super Bowl until January. Well, it's like the NBA. That's next month. I think they're not. I have no idea when the NBA starts. It has to be somewhere in November, December to start it. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Well, I wonder if you guys are tired right now. Well, I'm not. Man, I'm still tired. Sorry, I was quiet a little bit, but right now I'm trying to reach 180 minutes or 200 minutes right now. Take like the San Diego Padres back then. We had Tony Gwynn back then. Since he's retired, I don't know if the back then we been to the series in '94 and '98, I think. Don't you love the Yankees? The best team of all time. Well, right now we're going as fast as we can right now. I love to read you the Jurassic Park 3, rest of the Jurassic Park 3 summary, but I have to wait until we reach our goal, until we reach the 70th mark, and I'll read it to you. Mm-hmm. Well, we're almost there now. I wonder if you guys are tired right now. I am. Well, here we are, number 70. Let's get started. Let's finish this story. Grant suspicious of Billy checks his bag and finds a lobster eggs, which Billy reveals his plan to selling for funding. Rand decides to keep the eggs in hopes that the philosophers may spare them the eggs if return. Group has unknowingly enters the Avery field of Predarian. It is Pteranodons. A flock attacks the group and flies away with Eric. Billy rescues them and using a parasol, but is swarmed and seemingly killed. The group escapes Avery, but intentionally leaves the cage unlocked. They're bound to a small barge and make their way down a river. That night, they retrieve a ringing satellite phone from a dung of some Spinorsus contacts Ellie and tells her where they are. But the Spinorsus attacks the barge. Fuel the boat leaks into the water, wearing nice to using a flare gun, forcing the Spinorsus to permanently flee. The following day, the group arrives at the coast surrounded by the Velociraptor pack. Grant uses the replica Larnax to confuse the pack and present their eggs. Upon hearing distant helicopters, the raptors reclaim their eggs and disappear into the jungle. The U.S. Navy lands on the beach, summoned by Ellie. Then rescue the survivors. On helicopter, they discover that Billy has been rescued, a Bill from a serious injured state, but they watch nearly escape the Praetorians fly alongside them and travel the island. It's been a long time since Jurassic Park has been out since 2001. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 14 years later since the movie Jurassic World started. I seen the movie. I seen the movie in theaters once. Colin Trevorrow, Trevorrow. His last name is so hard to pronounce. Colin Trevorrow. There is a lot of movies that made over $1 billion in franchises, like Jurassic Park, that started the cult following back then in 1993. Even when Titanic was released in November, December 1997, that movie made $1 billion worldwide. Right now, let's get started. Brothers Zach and Gary Mitchell visit Jurassic World Dinosaur Theme Park on Island Newbar, which their Aunt Clearing is the operation manager. Claire is signed to her assistant signed by her assistant Zara as the Boy Scout, but they evade her and explore on their own. Elsewhere on the island is a Navy veteran mythologist Owen Gray has been training the Velociraptor squad, composed by Blue, Charlie, Delta, and Echo, also researching intelligence. Based on the Raptor's ability and Velo Command's head of IonGen security, Vic Hoskins believed that the animals can be weaponized, an idea Owen and his assistant merely opposed. Prior to his opening, Cloyer and Parkinson Simon inspects the newest attraction. The Demus Rex, a transgenic dinosaur, is created by Dr. Henry Wu. Morrison tasked Owen with evaluating enclosing security. Warns Claire that the Demus lacks the social skills, making it dangerous and unpredictable. When the Demus seemingly escapes her compound, Owen and two park workers enter the enclosed. The Demus, which the camouflage itself marks itself its heat signature, suddenly appears. Owen survives, but it devours the other two men before escaping the island's interior. Realizing it's highly vicious and intelligent, Owen advises Marsari that the specimen is destroyed, but to protect the company's investment in Sarni, specialized uh, specialized unit to subdue it, but non-lethal weaponry so it can safely return it to padlock. Most of the units is slaughtered. Clear orders the evacuation in the island's northern sector, while Missouri ponders Owen's warnings and cost Woo. Let's read the rest. While exploring the park and toward vehicles, Zack and Gary enter a restricted area. The unit arrives and destroys the vehicle, but the boys nearly escape. They find the ruins of the original Jurassic Park Visitor Center and repair an old Jeep Wrangler and drive back to the park resort. And Claire and Owen search for the boys. They barely escape the Nemesis as well. Marconi and two troopers hunt down the Nemesis helicopters, but it breaks into the park's aviary. The Bernarnus Demorphos, startled by Indian signals, flee the aviary and attacks Mansouri's helicopter, resulting in the crash and killing his passengers before converging to the resort. While attacking everyone, including Zara, is devoured by Mansouri. Zack and Gray find no one clear at the resort and armed personnel to take down the Taurus. Pterosaurus. It's hard to pronounce that, is it? Try spelling Schwarzenegger, that stuff. Once we reach the 8th mark, I will tell you the rest of the story. Or I'll reach the 9th mark, and then I will finish the rest of the story. Bored. Maybe you guys are kind of tired right now. Well, we're all going as fast as we can on this one. You know, it cost $150 million to make Jurassic World back then. Believe that? Luck for me, Amblin Entertainment was here to make this movie. Right now, our goal is to reach. Right now, I'm trying to reach the 9th mark. Right now, once we reach the 9th mark, we will get to the. We will get to. We will get it once we reach the 9th mark. I will finish the rest of the story for you. From Jurassic World. You guys already seen the movie, but some of you guys don't, so I'm gonna read it to you. And I already gave the Top Gun Maverick and Jurassic World Dominion A+. But I'm also reading their stories too. Well, the Yankees are. Well, the Yankees lead. The Yankees are on the lead, so 3-0. Well, to me, it made me look like it's in the back for the Yankees right now in the first inning. In the first inning back then, but like you said, it could be anyone's ball game right now. It's kind of tough for the Guardians to catch up after 9 innings. They need to win four. They need to get 4 more runs right now. One of you guys retired right now. Well, I am. Oh, I am. Yeah, did you know that Jacob Rupert bought the Yankees in 1915 back then? And he ran the company until he passed away in 1939. He bought it for $480,000 in 1915 back then. To him, that's in that time. That's a lot of cash in that time. You know when they brought him Babe Ruth in 1919, that's when it changed forever. Mostly that team was losing. You know, most of the Yankees were always losing all the time. But he is the one who brought the crowd in back then, and he turned that team around. You know, back then, the Yankees had to share share the Giants stadium back then in the polo grounds. So that's when 1923 they got their own stadium in 1923. They called it the House of Ruth built. You know, the Yankee Stadium first opened April 18, 2023. That's when it changed. And the Yankees finally beaten the Giants in 1923. Back then. He also owned a beer company. You know, Jacob Rupert owned a beer company. That's how he made his fortune back then. Man, you guys must be really tired right now. I know you guys are, and so am I. I don't know if anybody's watching. Sorry about that. I was trying to remove a pop-up ad. Don't you hate those pop-up ads? You Back in 1939, his net worth was about $6 million, which reached $4 million at the time of his death. It's unknown if he ever had children back then. Well, he never had any children, but he did create his own beer company that made him a fortune back then. I wonder if you guys are tired. Well, I am, but who knows? In 1920s, that's when the Yankees home run era became. Babe Ruth was already a home run leader in 1918 and 1919. He still got people coming back when they was when he was at Fenway Park. They made a lot of times the Red Sox made a big mistake selling him to the Yankees back then, but they had no choice. They paid him. Yep. Right now we're in night. Sorry about that. Kind of itches a little bit. Well, the Yankees are still in the lead. They're 3-0. Yankees on the lead 3-0, and the Guardians are 0, and Yankees are 3. All right, let's get back. Assuming Command Hoskins orders the Raptors to be used track to the Indominus, whereupon Owen reluctantly complies to spearhead the assault of the Raptors. Upon finding the Indominus, the dinosaurs began communications among themselves. Owen realized that the Indominus has a velocipede DNA and intercepts Owen's command of the Raptors, becoming Pax's new alpha. Crews fire on Indominus but escapes. The Raptors slaughtered most of his soldiers while Charlie is killed in the chaos. Hoskins evacuates Dr. Rue and the dinosaurs' embryos and the island protect Dr. Rue's research. Owen, Claire, and the boys have to find Hoskins at the lab securing more embryos, but Delta breaks in and kills him. Owen reestablishes his bond with the three survivor raptors before Nemus reappears. The attack of the hybrid, but Delta and Elko are killed while Blue is knocked unconscious. Claire released the Jurassic Park veteran a T-Rex from his paddock and learn to the battle they name this. Nemus eventually gains an advantage over the T-Rex until Blue recovers, joins the battle. The duo gets to Corn's Lagoon's edge and dragged underwater by the Resinosaurus. The survivors are evacuating the island and banned once again. Secondly, are reunited with their parents, with Owen and Claire decide to stay together. Man, it's really kind of hard. Sorry about that, but you have ears that are itchy. You know what that's like. Yep, here's the next movie. After 3 years from Jurassic World started. But right now we're gonna I'll read just some of it before we reach our 100 mark. Right now, it costs about 170 to 187 million dollars to make this movie. It made $1 billion in this one. Even Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard returned. Also returning was Jeff Goldblum. Returned from this movie. J.A. B.A.O.O.N.A. J.A. Bayona did direct the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. This is a big budget, man. I can't believe it cost $170 million to make this movie. You can take like the Pirates of the Caribbean 3 or 4. It costs over $300 million to make that movie. You know that? We're getting into the 100. We're getting there pretty soon. One more minute, then I'll read. Shortly after the events of Jurassic World in 2015, a small mercenary team arrives at the abandoned island of Naboo to collect DNA from the Eusebius Rex remains in the lagoon. After it collects the bone sample, the Metasaurus devours the submersible. The Tyrannosaurus attacks the helicopter and manages to escape with the sample, but allowing the Metasaurus to escape in the open ocean. 3 years later, the United States committee debates whether the island of Naboo dinosaurs should be saved from impending volcanic eruption. Mathematician Dr. Ian Malcolm testifies that the dinosaurs should perish naturally to correct the wrongful cloning done by John Hammond. Meanwhile, Jurassic World's former operators, Claire Dearing, has established a dinosaur protection group to save the animals. After the Senate rules against rescuing the animals, Hammond, former partner Sir Benjamin Lockwood summons Claire to Northern California State. Lockwood and his aide Ellie Menace reveals a plan to relocate the dinosaurs to an island sanctuary. Claire is needed to reactivate the park's tracking system to locate the animals, particularly Blue, the last surviving velociraptor. Claire recruits Owen Grady, the former velociraptor trader, to help capture her. On Island Nubor, and the former park technician Franklin Webb reactivate the online tracking system. Owen and Palo Venturi Zia Rodriguez and a mercenary team led by Ken Whately track and find Blue. They encounter the escalate, resulting in Blue being shot and Whately tranquilizing Owen. Whately then abandons Owen, Claire, and Franklin and forcibly taking Zia hostage to treat the Blue. The ship is loaded with captured dinosaurs. The remaining dinosaurs are left behind to die in the eruption. Claire, Franklin, and Owen sneak aboard the ship and help Zia transfer Blue with the Tyrannosaurus Rex bloods to save her. Rather than being relocated to a new island, the captured dinosaurs are transported to Lockwood Estate, where Lockwood's orphan granddaughter Maisie overhears Mills and auctioneer Mr. Eversole secret plan to sell the dinosaurs on the black market. They will review the news for weaponized transgenic dinosaur created by Genesis Dr. Henry Wu using the insignias of Rex and Velociraptor DNA. Wu needs Blue's DNA to create an enhanced cyber to obedient to commands. Or that Blue's blood is no longer pure. Maisie informs Lockwood about the auction and confronts Mills, who murders him. Maisie reveals that they have a clone from the dinosaur Lockwood's deceased daughter, the reason why John Hammond ended their association. Ugh. The auction dinosaurs are impending or shipped out, but Franklin evades capture and frees Zia. But Owen and Claire have been apprehended. Owen indicates that the Syphilis is breaking open their cell. The two encounter Maisie and they learn that the Inceptor is being sold despite Wu's protest that it's a prototype. Owen disrupts the auction by luring this into the room. By ensuing the chaos, Wheatley tranquilized the Endorber to extract the tooth of a trophy, but the hybrid, merely feigning consciousness, kills Wheatley, Eversole, and the others after escape. It aces Owen, Claire, and Maisie through the mansion until Blue releases Zia, confronts the Saber atop of the glass roof. The animal crashes through and killing the Dober and leaving Blue unarmed. I'll finish the rest of the story later. Until it reaches the 110 mark. I know you guys are tired right now, and so am I. And right now, we're trying to reach the 180 or 100, 200 mark. I don't know if anybody's watching right now, but it's kind of tough to do, you know. And right now, I'm reading the Jurassic Fallen Kingdom right now. Let's get back and see how they're doing. Well, the Yankees are still in the lead on top of the third, and they're 4 runs behind. Well, I think it doesn't look good for the Guardians. Yes, they have to go home. Yes, they're going home today. Well, I guess their seasons are practically over. And it's only the third inning. Huh. I really doubt they can tell you the truth, they're going to need 5 runs just to catch up with the Yankees. Well, at least they have good batters out there. Hmm. You know, the Yankees had a lot of great players back then. You know, one thing about when you go to baseball games, you don't hear the sports commentators. Most you hear the public interest announcers. That's what Bob Shepard did back in the Yankees back then. I love to reach at the rest of the movie from Jurassic World, the Fallen Kingdom, but we have to wait for when we reach the 110 mark. I wonder if you guys are tired right now. Well, we all are tired. Yeah, we're all getting there. Tell me how long did Babe Ruth play baseball? How long he played for the Yankees back then? He started in 1920 and ended in 1934, so 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. That's like 15 years he played for the Yankees. Some pennants, and our World Series. Man, he put a lot of times in that place. Yeah, pretty cool, isn't it? Good player, but not enough to reach the series. Yep, well, we're back at 110 now, so let's get started. On the island of board, the forward park technician Franklin Red reactivated the online tracking system. Owen Paley, veterinarian Zia Rodriguez, and a mercenary led by Ken Wheatley tracked and find Blue. The encounter escalates, resulting in Blue being shot and Wheatley tranquilizing Owen. Wheatley then abandons Owen, Claire, and Franklin, and the island forcibly taking Zia hostage to retrieve Blue. The ship loaded with the captured dinosaurs is apart. The remaining dinosaurs left behind die in the eruption. But Claire, Franklin, and Owen stay aboard the ship and help Zia transfuse Blue into the transformers of blood to save her life. Rather than being located to a new island, the captured dinosaurs are transported to the Lockwood estate, where Lockwood's orphan granddaughter Maisie overhears Millie and the auctioneer Mr. Eversole secretly plan to sell the dinosaur on the black market. They also want to preview the indoor part, a weaponized transgenic dinosaur created by geneticist Dr. Henry using the Insidious Rex and Velocity DNA. Who needs Blue's DNA to create an enhanced create an interpreter and obedient to commands, unaware that Blue's blood is no longer pure. After Maisie informs Lockwood about the auction, he confronts Mills, who murders him. Maisie is later revealed to have been cloned from Lockwood's deceased daughter, and the reason why John Hammond ended their association. The auctioned dinosaurs are being immediately shipped out. Franklin evades capture and frees Zia, but Owen and Claire have been apprehended. Owen incites a Stigmatia to break into their cell, open their cell. The duo counter Maisie, and they learn the insiders are being sold despite Wu's protests and its prototype. Owen disrupts the auction by luring the Stigmatia into the room, ensuing chaos. Wheatley tranquilizes the absorber to extract a tooth as a trophy, but the hybrid, merely unconscious, kills Wheatley, Eversole, and the others escape. It chases Owen, Claire, and Maisie throughout the mansion until Blue, released by Zia, confronts the absorber atop high gas roof that both animals crash through, killing the absorber and leaving Blue unarmed. While the hydrogen cyanide gas leak threatens the caged dinosaurs, Maisie frees them, ignoring Owen's objections. Maisie attempts to leave with the Intornus Rex bone. Tyrannosaurus devours them to trample the bone. Owen, Claire, Maisie, and Zia and Franklin escape with Blue, and others release the dinosaur-freeing state grounds. The new U.S. Dr. Malcolm declares that the new Jurassic age, where humans and dinosaurs must coexist. The closing states that the free dinosaurs are roaming the wilderness and the outer urban areas. Yep, and here we are in Jurassic World Dominion. That's where he's gonna give it an A+. You guys must be tired right now, aren't you? Well, we all are. In Top Gun and Maverick, I'll read the Top Gun first sequel and first movie. This took place on May 16, 1986 in the United States. And Tony Scott directed the movie before he died. This was a good movie back then. This was like the sequel to Officer and Gentleman back then after graduating from Naval Aviation. Officer Candidate School and flight training. Not easy learning how to fly a plane a lot of times, or fighting in the enemy lines. I know you guys are kind of tired right now, so am I. Once we reach the 120th mark, I will read you the rest of the Top Gun movie from 1996. Tell me, how many World Series did Phil Rizzuto win when he played for the Yankees? Once we reach the, I will tell you in a minute. Once we reach the 120 mark, I will tell you how many World Series did Phil Rizzuto win before I get to the Top Gun, before I read the Top Gun plot. Oh, yeah. Pretty neat, huh? Wonder if you guys are tired right now. I wish I was. Was it? I know I am. But like I said, we're trying to reach our goal to 180 or 200. Yep, 7 World Series. Well, the answer to Phil Rosito was 7 World Series from 1941, 47, 49, 49 to 53. That sure is a lot of World Series he's been in. Well, here it is, Top Gun 1986. Cost like $15 million to make this movie. U.S. Naval Aviator Lieutenant Pete Maverick Mitchell and his radar intercepted officer, Lieutenant Junior Grade Nick Goose Bradshaw, was stationed in the Indian Ocean aboard the USS Enterprises, fly the M14 Tomcat. We call those the Navy jets. During the interception, 2 hostile MiG-28s. Maverick's missile locks on one, while the other hostile locks into Maverick's wingman, Cougar. Maverick drives it off, but Cougar is still so shaken that Maverick devised orders to land and shepherd him back to the carrier. Cougar resigns his commission. Maverick and Goose are sent to place the SAG Stinger to attend Top Gun, Naval Fighter's weapons school, the Naval Air Station in Miramar. That's close to San Diego. Well, Goose and Maverick had a chance to go to Top Gun. That's their school. It's their top school. Be trained by the best female pilots in the world. If they get to graduate, they'll be the number. They get to if they graduate, they get to be top Navy fighters. Prior to the first day of instruction, Maverick unsuccessfully approaches a woman at a bar and learns that next day she is an astrophysicist and a civilian Top Gun instructor, Charlie Blackwood. She became interested in Maverick upon learning of his maneuver with the MiG-28. In Maverick's first ring, he defeats an instructor, Lieutenant Commander Rick Jester, heavily, but to do so, he flies above 10,000 feet, breaking the major role in equipment engagement. Maverick and Goose also buzzed the control tower. They were my chief instructor, Commander Mike Viper Metcalf. Bradley Jester tells Viper that he admires Maverick's skill. He's not sure that he would trust himself as a teammate in combat. In class, Charlie objects to Maverick's aggressive tactics against the MiG-28, but privately tells him she admires his flying, but they begin flying a romantic relationship. At training Hop 19, Maverick abandons his wingman Hollywood to chase Viper. But as a result, at first Hollywood and Maverick are defeated by a demonstration of the value of teamwork. Jester tells Maverick his flying is excellent, but criticizes him for leaving as a wingman. Lieutenant Tom Iceman Maverick calls his behavior totally foolish, dangerous, and worse than the enemy. Maverick and Iceman are leading contenders for the Top Gun trophy. In the chase A4 and Hop 31, Iceman has trouble getting a lock on A4. Maverick pressures them to break off so they can move at the firing precision, but however, Maverick's F-14 files through Iceman's jet wash, suffers a flame on both engines, going and recoverable flat spin. Maverick and Goose eject, but Goose was killed and his head slams into the jets and the aircraft canopy. Board Inquirer clears Maverick of any wrongdoing, but he's shaken and guilt-ridden and considers quitting. He seeks advice from Viper and flew with Maverick's father in Vietnam War era battle when he was killed. Contrary to official reports vaulting Mitchell, but Viper says he died heroically. He tells him that he succeeded and he brings to self-confidence. Maverick chooses to graduate and congratulates Iceman, who won the highest Top Gun trophy. Iceman, Hollywood, and Maverick receive deployment orders to deal with the crisis situation. They're sent to Enterprise to provide air support to the rescue of SS Layton, a disabled communication ship that's drifted in hostile waters. Once we reach the 130th mark, or 140-minute mark, I will finish the rest of the story. I wonder if you guys are tired right now. I wonder if anyone's still with me. I have no idea. Are you guys still with me? Let's check the Major League Baseball schedule to see who's winning or who's losing. Well, let's top of the fourth. Guardians just got one run against the Yankees. All they need is 4 more runs to win and to get the lead. But it's only top of the fourth, so I don't think it's impossible to catch up. But never say never, Like I said, it's anyone's ball game right now. Yep, there's Yogi Berra, who was a catcher and outfielder for the Yankees. He was named after the cartoon character Yogi Bear back then. I think he always had a catchphrase that says, "It's not over until it's over." It ain't over until it's over. That was his catchphrase back then. Yogi Berra. Yep, 127 minutes, and we're still up here. I don't know how many viewers can I get with 180 minutes of 3 hour video. I could do a 100-hour video. I'm gonna do a 10-hour video, and I think I still couldn't get 100 viewers. Well, right now it's anyone's ball game right now. You know, Leslie Gomez also played for the Yankees back then, from 1930 to 42. Yep, we're almost yep. I wish I could finish this for you guys, but right now our goal is to reach 180 minutes. Or 200 minutes, whichever counts first. I don't know if this will get me to the. I wonder if you guys are even tired right now. Anyone's watching? Doing a 2 hour or 3 hour video is not an easy thing. Even a 10-hour video, no, that's impossible to do. Well, we're to the 103 mark, so we are counting the days to win until we reach the 140th mark. Let's take a look at the NFL standings about who's winning and who's losing. Well, good news: the Buffalo Bills are in first place in the American East, and the Jets are four games to 2. Even the Chiefs are catching up too. So in first place is between first place it's the Bills and the Jets are even the Jets, the Chiefs, and the Chargers are in a second place tie right now. Right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are in first place right now. Well, the New York Giants is in second, and the Cowboys are in third. Well, like I said, it's anyone's ball game right now in that one. So let me ask you about the midterm election in 2022. Who do you think will win? Do you think the Democratic senators have a chance to reach 60 at the mark? Get reach 60. We need 60. We need 60 to pass the Roe versus Wade Act. I don't know if it's really impossible to do it, but no one says it can't. No, it says you can't. It's not like it can't be tried, or it's not like we haven't tried. But like you said, anyone's ballgame. Never say it's impossible. Home run records are always one thing about home run records. Barry Bonds got the home run record right now for the Giants. Wonder how much it costs to buy a World Series ticket right now. I know the series will probably start in October or the end of October or November right now. I'd love to turn on some music so I can keep you busy, but I'm not allowed to because you don't want to avoid copyright issues right now. Take like one of the Yankees in the Monument Park is Thurman Munson right now. He was a catcher. He was inducted in 1979. You know how long he played for the Yankees? From 69 to 1979. 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79. He played 11 seasons for the Yankees back then. But I think I found out he passed away. He died in a car crash. The guy's been in the series 2 times. Well, that's one thing about he died in 1979 back then. He was a great player. Too bad I was kind of tired. He was cheated out of the Baseball Hall of Fame back then. Yep, right now we have to, right now. Well, it's in the 4th inning right now. Right now the Yankees are still in lead from 4 games to 1. You know, back before Tom Cruise started Top Gun, he flew with the Blue Angels back then, and that's how I got a pilot's license back then. Man, I bet you guys are really tired right now. Well, we all are. Yep. I wonder if you guys are tired right now. I'm sorry I haven't spoken right now, but I'm trying to save my throat right now. And plus, I'm trying to figure out. Plus, I hope you guys are still there. Like you said, doing a live video is not easy to think. Right now, our goal is to reach 180 to 200, whichever comes first. Yep, it's pretty cool, isn't it? What if you guys are thirsty? I am. Well, we're almost at, yep. All right, we're in the 140 mark, so let's get started. The Board of Inquiry clears Maverick of any wrongdoing, but he is shaken and Gilbert. Considering quitting, he seeks advice from Viper, who flew in Maverick's father in the Vietnam War battle, where he was killed. Contrary to the official reports faulting Maverick, Viper said he died heroically. He tells him he succeeded if he regains his self-confidence. Maverick chooses to graduate and congratulates Iceman, who has won the Top Gun trophy. Iceman, Hollywood, and Maverick receive immediate deployment orders to deal with the crisis situation. They are sent to U.S. Enterprises to provide air support for the rescue of SS Lawton, a disabled communication ship that drifted in hostile waters. Aboard the Enterprises, Iceman and Hollywood are assigned to provide air cover, with Maverick and Rhea Merlin to stand by. Iceman expressed concerns to Stinger about Maverick's mental state, but is told to just do his job. Iceman and Hollywood are pulled into a dogfight with is first appeared by two MiGs, but turns out to be six. But Hollywood is shot down. But Maverick is scrambled, so he goes into a spin, countering another jet wash, but recovers. Shaken and breaks off, then re-engages and shoots down three MiGs. Iceman destroys the fourth. The remaining two MiGs withdraw upon their triumph, returning to U.S. Enterprise. The pilots share their newfound respect for one another. Maverick later throws Goose and dog tags overboard. Offered the choice of any assignment, Maverick chose to return to Top Gun as an instructor. He and Charlie reunite at a bar in Miramar. Right now, Tom Cruise at 1, 2, 3. The first Mission Impossible cost $80 million, and it was released on May 22nd, 1996. But in the first movie, he wasn't exactly a team leader back then. Jim Phillips, yep. Okay, let's give ourselves a minute before I read the plot. Well, nothing's impossible if you put your mind to things. And right now, gotta keep going and keep moving until we reach our goal. All right, here it is. Mission Impossible, May 22nd, 1996. After finishing a mission in Kiev, Jim Phelps and his latest IMF team are sent to Prague to stop a rogue agent, Alexander Gossam, from stealing the CIA NOC list. However, the mission unexpectedly fails after the list stolen and the team was killed one by one, along with Gosselin, leaving the Phelps point man, Ethan Hunt, the only survivor. Hunt is debriefed by IMF Director Eugene Kittredge in a restaurant. Hunt realizes that another IMF team was present during the mission and learns that the operation was a setup to lure out a mole within the IMF. The mole is believed to be working with an arms dealer named Max as part of Job 314. Hunt realizes that Kittredge suspects him being the mole. Escapes by exploding chewing gum given to him by another agent before the mission. After a return to the Prague safe house, Hunt realized Job 314 is actually referred to the Bible verse of Job 314. Job means mole's code name. Phelps' wife Claire, though, has been killed during the mission, arrives in the safe house, explaining before her death that Phelps contacted her before saying the mission was compromised, and which enabled her to avoid getting killed. Hunt arranged a meeting with Max to warn her about the NOC list that she has is equivalent tracking device. Max realized that Hunt was letting the truth. They escape together just before Kittredge and the IMF team following the tracking device raid her apartment. Hunt convinces Max the two can obtain the real NOC list in exchange for the $10 million in jobs for identity. Unclear recruit disavowed IMF agents hacker Luther Sickwell and helicopter Franz Krieger to infiltrate the CIA headquarters in Langley to steal the authentic list and escape to London. Krieger takes the floppy disk containing the list, but Hunt tricks him to get the list up. Hunt then gives the list to Stickwell. Kittredge has Hunt's mother and falsely arrested for drug trafficking in order to lure Hunt into surrendering. After learning about the arrest, Hunt contacts Kittredge from a payphone, intentionally allowing the MIF to trace the call. Phelps, resurfaced inspector, recounts the surviving the shooting, tells Hunt that Kittredge is the mole. However, Hunt deduced that Phelps is their mole and realized the Bible found in Prague was taken by Chicago Drake Hotel by Phelps. Hunt pretends to believe that Phelps has put pieces together. How he portrayed and killed his teammates, help from Krieger, is impossibly clear, but Hunt arranged exchange lift for Max brought the TGV train to Paris, secretly inviting Kittredge in the meeting. On the train, Hunt directs Max to the list, and she sends him to a baggage car where the money and job are located. Meanwhile, Sick will use the jamming device to prevent Max from uploading the mist to her servers. Claire goes to the car to collect her share of the money from Phelps, only to realize he's really Ethan in disguise. When the real Phelps arrives, taking the money at gunpoint, Hunt sends the live video of Phelps and to Kittredge, exposing him as a mole. Claire tries to talk her husband into surrendering, but Phelps kills her and climbs to the train's roof where Krieger waiting for the helicopter. Phelps attempts to climb onto the helicopter using the teether, but Hunt hooks onto the train, preventing Krieger from flying away and forcing the helicopter into the Channel Tunnel. He uses another piece of exploding chewing gum to blow the chopper up, killing both men. Kittredge takes Max into custody and recovers the NOC list from Stickwell. He and Stickwell are reinstated back to the IMF. Hunt isn't sure they'll return to the team, but on the flight home, an attendant approaches and asks her through a coded phrase if he's ready to take on a new mission. That he is promoted to team leader due to his actions during this crisis. I wonder if you guys are tired right now. Well, I am. Well, we're in the 150th mark, so I'm going to read Mission Impossible 2. This one was directed by John Woo, and Tom Cruise did his own stunts in this movie. Even the rock climbing thing was really kind of tough on him back then. This movie was released on May 24, 2000. There are a lot of Mission Impossible movies I saw before. But Mission Impossible 2, that was a tough movie. Biochemical expert Dr. Vladimir Nikovich sends a message to the IMF for Ian Hunt, an old friend of his. He warns that his employer, the biopharmaceuticals, forced him to develop a biological weapon to profit from the cure. He arranges me and Ethan deliver the Chimera virus to remedy the Bell form. Without Ethan on Honda, the IMF sends Sean Ambrose disguises Ethan to meet with Knuckleridge as a passenger airplane. Ambrose goes rogue on killing Knuckleridge and stealing the Belfour and destroying the aircraft to cover their escape. IMF director Swanbeck informs Hunt for the circumstance of Necroverge's death, and they determine that Ambrose is responsible. Swanbeck tasks Ethan with recovering the virus and the cure, and has him recruit Nyette Nordoff Hall, a professional thief presently operating in Seville, Spain, and Ambrose's ex-girlfriend. Hunter successfully recruits her to trace Ambrose and her team and to spy on Ambrose, despite reluctance. Give me a breather for a minute, will you? IMF Director Swanbeck informs Hunt of the circumstances of Nervich's death, and they determine Ambrose is responsible. Swanbeck takes Ethan with recovering the virus and its cure, and has him recruit Nia Nordhoff Hall, a professional thief presently operating in Seville, Spain, and Ambrose's ex-girlfriend. Hunt successfully recruits her to trace Ambrose and his team and to spy on Ambrose, despite her reluctance. Hunt assembles the team of computer hacker Luther Stickwell and pilot Bard pilot Billy Beard in Sydney, Australia, where bicycle laboratories are located, and Ambrose is staying. Ethan shakes out bicycle. Nia rekindles her former relationship with Ambrose and relays information to Ethan's team. Ambrose meets the bicycle CEO John C. McCoy and shows him a video camera infecting one of Cartridge's colleagues for blackmailing McCoy into cooperating with him. Nyla steals the camera's memory card and delivers to Ethan. The team, they learn that the camera has 20 hours dormant period before it can cause his death by mass destruction in the victim's red blood cells. Belfort can only save the victim if he used the 24-hour window. Nyla discreetly returns the memory card to Ambrose, but he knows it was the wrong pocket in his jacket. Hunt's team kidnaps McCoy for stealing him for information. They discover that Belfort's samples were taken by Necroverge are now in Ambrose's hand. Ambrose has the cure, but does not have the virus. Unknown to the time, Necroverge injected himself. The Chimera to smuggle out of the biosoltal. Ambrose plans to exchange a sample Belfort to McCoy for that Chimera. Hunt's team breaks into Bicycle to destroy the virus before exchange can take place. Ambrose, imposing as Ethan, tricks Nia into revealing the plan, but they capture Nia and raids the Bicycle to secure the virus. But Ethan can destroy all but one sample of the Chimera. Before Ambrose intervenes and the firefight ensues, culminating the sample being dropped on the floor before Ambrose commands Nia to collect the specimen. However, she injects herself with it, preventing Ambrose from winning her after the retrieval. Nia begs Ethan to kill her along with their virus. Ethan refuses. Ambrose abducts Nia, and Ethan flees the facility. I wonder if you guys are tired right now. Right now. Well, we all are. Peace. Well, we're gonna reach it once we reach our 160-minute. We'll finish the rest of the story. Well, I bet you guys already seen Mission Impossible 2, so. But I bet you guys still want me to read the story anyway. Finish it anyway. Well, like you said, nothing's impossible right now. Well, right now we're trying to reach the 160 mark, so once I reach the 160 mark, we will get to the. Once I reach the 160 mark, we will we'll finish the rest of the story. Don't you hate those pop-up ads? Ugh. Well, I know you guys are tired right now, so am I. Well, like I said, anything is possible, but right now I'm trying to reach my goal of 180. Or 200. If anyone could do it, like I could. Well, Hunt's team kidnapped McCoy to sting them for information. They discovered that the only Belform samples were taken by Nekrovich and are now in the hands of Ambrose's hands. Are now in Ambrose's hands. Ambrose has the cure, but does not have the virus. Unknown to him at the time, Nekrovich is injecting himself to Chimera to smuggle out the biocycle. Ambrose plans to exchange the sample by Belform to McCoy for the Chimera. Hunt's team breaks into a biosol to destroy the virus before the exchange can take place. Ambrose is posing as Ethan tricks Nia into revealing the plan, then captures Nia and raids the biosol to secure the virus. Ethan can destroy all but one sample of the Chimera before Ambrose intervenes, but a firefight ensues, culminating to a sample that was being dropped on the floor between Ambrose and Ethan. Ambrose commands Nia to collect the specimen. However, she injects herself, preventing Ambrose from eliminating her after the retrieval. Nia begs for Ethan to kill her along with the virus, but Ethan refuses, but Ambrose abducts Nia as Ethan flees the facility. Ambrose releases Nia to wander the streets of Sydney in a daze, intending to start a pandemic. He offers to sell the Bifront to McCloy in exchange for the stock option to make him Biosol a majority shareholder, but he plans to get rich from Biosol stock due to demands of Belfort after Chimera's were released. Hunt infiltrates the meeting and steals the remaining samples of Belfort while Hunt is pursued by Ambrose's men. Luther and Billy locate Nia and wander out to the cliffside, intending killing herself to prevent an eventual outbreak. Ethan kills Ambrose's men, but the last man, Hugh Stamp, Excellent shot by Ambrose himself. Ambrose chases Heaton Hunt to a beach where Hunt defeats in a brutal fist fight. With a little time left at the 24-hour countdown, Luther reaches Ethan at the beach. Ethan is about to give Luther the Belfort canister. Ambrose recovers and points a gun at Hunt, but Hunt throws the canister into Luther and jumps away at the Ambrose shot, kicking the pistol from the sand and used to violently kill Ambrose. Lethal injects Naya with the Belfort in time to save her. Director Swanbeck realizes Hunt destroys the virus, but the IMF clears Naya's corona and starts his vacation with her in Sydney. Yep, and 162 right now. Look at Mission Impossible 3. I'm going to read this in a minute. We're in Mission Impossible 3 right now. You know, it was released in May 5th, 2006. It cost $159 million and it made nearly $400 million. That was great for Tom Cruise. You know, he did a good job in that movie. Even Michelle Monaghan became a star in that became a star in that movie. That helped her boost her career. Let's check the MLB schedule right now and see who's winning or losing. Well, I guess the Yankees are still in the lead to 1-5, so it's top to 6. So right now, I think the Yankees might still have a chance to beat the Yankees. Might have a chance to go to the American League Championship back then. Well, right now, it's anyone's ball game. I wonder if you guys are tired right now. Again. Well, I'm tired. I don't know if you guys already left or are still here. But like I said, our goal is to reach 180 minutes. Right now, I don't have any viewers. I don't know if I have any viewers right now. Half the times, I think anyone who left is probably long gone right now. And right now, I'm reading Mission Impossible film series. I read the Top Gun, the Jurassic Park movies. Now I'm reading this one. I guess it buys last time, you know, discussing Top Gun from 1 and 2. Why this movie was really great. Everyone saw these movies. Do you think I should stop at 180? Or you guys want to go for 200? Well, it's up to you guys to figure that out. Right now we're getting to there, but like I said, if you guys, well, that's one thing about YouTube. If I get to the 100 mark, I will read the rest of I will read the Mission Impossible 3 movie. Man, $400 million worldwide. For me, the DVD helped us out with that. And the worst movie for her, Michelle Monaghan, too. It's playing you cool. Well, we're in 168, so 2 more minutes to go. Well, I know you guys are tired right now, so am I. Yep, and we're in 169. 1 more minute left. Then we reach 170. Yep, we're going through our countdown every day. Yep, we're in 170, so let's get started with Mission Possible 3. Ethan Hunt has retired from the field work from the AMF and said trains recruits while sitting down with his fiancee Julie Mead, a nurse who's unaware of Ethan's real job. He is approached by AMF Assistant Director of Operations John Musgrave about a mission to rescue one of Ethan's proteges, Lindsay Ferris. Lindsay was captured while investigating arms dealer Owen Davian. Most IMF most IMF rules says that if you get captured, they easily disavow. But this time, I think I made an exception to rescue. Musgrove must already prepared for a team for Ethan. Declan Gorman, Zion Lee, and his old partner, Luther Stickwell. The team rescues Lindsay in Berlin and collects damaged laptop computers. As they flee, Ethan discovers an explosive pellet implanted in Lindsay's head. Before he could disable it, it took her out. IM Director Theo Brasso reprimands Ethan and Musgrave. Ethan learns that Lindsay mailed him a postcard before her capture and discovers that it's her magnetic microdock under the stamp. IMF technician Benji Dunn recovers enough data from the laptops to determine Davian will be in Vatican City to obtain the mysterious objective, codenamed Rabbit's Foot. Ethan plans on a mission to capture Davian without seeking official approval. Before leaving, he and Julia are impromptu wedding to have in the hospital's chapel. The team infiltrate Vatican City and capture Davian. Ethan is to drop Davian from a plane on the return flight as interrogated by the Rabbit's Foot. Davian refuses to reveal anything. After landing, Ethan learns that the microdot from Lindsay contains a warning that Brassel is working with Davian. The convoy is taking Davian across the Cheapskate Bay Bridge tunnel. Is ambushed by German-speaking mercenaries who extract Davian while deploying the MQ-9 Reaper missile-armed drone. Realizing Julia is also in danger, Ethan races Julia's workplace, discovers that she's already been kidnapped. Steven calls Ethan and gives him 48 hours to recover Rabbit's foot in exchange for Julia's life. Or Ethan can, he's captured by MF. Well, right now we're getting there pretty soon. Give me another minute. Well, right now we're trying to get through this. Let's see how they're doing. Let's just see how the Yankees in the still bottom of the sixth, and the Yankees are still winning. So either way, they're going to the playoffs, American League Championships. And if they can beat the Astros 4 games, they will be back in the series. I wonder if you guys are tired right now, but I am. Besides, right now our goal is to reach 180 or 200. Okay. Musgrove takes part in Ethan's interrogation. He directly mouths that the rabbit's foot is located in Shanghai and assists Ethan in escaping. Ethan is declared the enemy of the state and placed in Interpol's most wanted list. Ethan secretly travels to Shanghai, where Declan, Zen, and Luther are sent by Musgrave under the guise of another operation, assist him acquiring the rabbit's foot. As he delivers the rabbit's foot, the meeting point, Ethan is tranquilized. He regains consciousness. A micro-explosive is implanted in his head. Restrained, Ethan sees Davian holding Julia at a gunpoint, tied up and gagged in a chair. Despite Ethan's asserting that he brought the rabbit's foot, Davian tucks out Julia and leaves the room. Musgrave arrives, reveals himself the actual IMF traitor. He explains that Julia is still alive. The woman took out Davian's translator disguised as Julia, executed by failing to protect him from Vacancetti. The ruse was to confirm the identity of the rabbit's foot. He arranged Davian to acquire the rabbit's foot and sell it to the terrorist group, so that IMF would have been reason to launch a preemptive strike to increase American military presence in the Middle East. When Musgrave let his guard down, Ethan knocks him unconscious and frees himself and uses Musgrave's phone to track the last call to location to find Julia. With the help of Benji on the phone, he locates the place but encounters Davian and some of his henchmen. Ethan kills his henchman. Davian arms the explosive in Ethan's head. Ethan fights and kills Davian. He comes back to free Julia, and the jury rigs an impromptu deliberately deactivate the explosive. Julia fights off and kills the henchman, then Musgrave, who's carrying the rabbit's foot. She escates Ethan and finally explains to his IMF curator. Back to the U.S., Brassel and the others congratulate Ethan and also leaves his honeymoon with Julia. Right now, once we reach 178, I will tell you about the Mission Impossible 4. After Mission Impossible 3, I didn't think they were going to make any more, but they did. Well, they are their bread and butter back then. Well, let's get started. This is Mission Impossible 4 Gross Protocol. IMF agent Trevor Hanaway is killed in Budapest by assassins Sabine Moreau, who steals Russian nuclear launch codes to sell to the mysterious Cobalt. IMF agent Ethan was distracted from Moscow prison along with the asset named Bogdan by Hanaway's handler, Jane Carter. A newly promoted field agent, Benji Dunn. The IMF tasked Hunt to infiltrate the Kremlin for information on Cobalt. That took the team that ruins the team's cover and forced them to abort the mission. But explosives destroys the Kremlin, and Hunt is arrested by SVR agent Tony Sador and blamed for the explosion. Hunt escapes and meets with IMF secretary, who is in Moscow with intelligence analyst William Brandt. The secretary explains that the president has infiltrated Ghost Protocol, disavowing the entire IMF, but secretly orders Hunt to continue pursuing Cobalt. Sador's forces catch up with Hunt, and the secretary is killed. Hunt escapes with Brandt. They regroup with Carter and Dunn, identifying Cobalt as Carrot Hendricks. As Swedish-born Russian nuclear strategist seeking nuclear war between USA and Russia, Hendricks destroyed the Kremlin and framed IMF to cover his theft of the Russian launch control device. Will meet Moreau and Kata in Dubai to buy the stolen launch codes. Hendricks has a right-hand man, Winstrom, blackmail Leonid Linsker, a Polish cryptographer, to authentic codes, threatening to kill his family otherwise. The IMF team plans to intercept the codes by faking both meetings. Hunt and Brandt pose as Winstrom and Linsker to receive the codes from Moreau 1 floor away. Carter will pose as Moreau. Pass the counterfeit codes to real Winstrom and Linsker. Hunt is forced to climb outside the car for access to the server. Hunt is forced to pass the real codes to Linsker. Hunt then keep the codes behind the isotopes and paper to track Winstrom's afterwards. After completing the buy, Winstrom takes out Linsker, preventingly and nearly apprehends Hunt, but eventually Carter takes out Moreau in self-defense. Hunt pursues Winstrom into a sandstorm, who unmasks himself as Hendricks and escapes. Carter and Dunn confront Brandt, who reveals that he asked to remove the field duty to veil the particularly mean Ethan's wife. Hunt was imprisoned after the supreme criminals who were killed turned up dead. With the help of Bogdan, Ethan negotiates with arms dealer the Fog to direct him to Mumbai. With Hendricks is set to negotiate with the Indian tycoon Bogdan to control the obsolete Soviet military satellite. The Fog informs the Sidor unawares of Hunt. Carter succeeds and seduces Nod to get the sedative override code, while Hunt, Brandt, and Dunn by stop Hendricks and Winstrom from using Nod's broadcast station. Hendricks has already sent the launch codes to Russian nuclear submarine, firing missiles at San Francisco, disabling the station's computer system. Carter is wounded by a rainstorm, but it's took out by Dunn, while Hunt fights Hendricks inside the automatic car parking valet until Hendricks jumps to the death to place the launch codes out of reach. But the team gets the system online, and Hunt takes the dangerous fall to disable the missile moments before an impact. Sherdoff arrives and realizes that Hunt and IMF are innocent, ordering him right to the hospital. In Satellite, in Seattle, Ethan meets Luther Stickle, assembles. Brand confesses a failure to protect Julia. Hang on a second. I need to recharge for a minute. I wonder if you guys are tired right now. Let me finish the story. Let me finish. Sorry about that. In Seattle, Ethan meets Luther Stickball and assembles the team. Fran confesses the failure to protect Julie, but Ethan reveals that her death and the Serbian murder was a plot to give her a new identity. Let him infiltrate the prison to find Bogdan. A relieved Rand accepts the mission to become an agent once again. Julie arrives and shares a smile with Ethan from afar. Before he slips away, he receives an IMF brief in a breach of military communication network. The merchant terrorist organization known as the Syndicate have control of the IMF entire drone fleet, and the targets are unknown. Yep. Right now, our goal is to reach 200 in a minute. It's gonna be hard to stand up all day. Too bad I can't sit down right now. Well, it's in the sixth inning, and the Yankees are still in the lead 5-1. Right now, the one reason I'm still monitoring because I want to reach the 200 mark. But I better go change clothes. I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, sorry about that. But we're in 185, so right now I'm not turning it off right now. So I'm gonna have to change my clothes for a minute. So this is a private matter, so I'm gonna stay out of it. Stay out of it. First one, number 21, number 2. Just changing my clothes, so. back. And 107 minutes now. Yep, it's 5:28 right now. Yep, 108 minutes. Our goal is to reach 200 right now. I could have stopped at 180, but I chose to stay in I chose to start at 200, but I chose to stay because I need to reach 200. Right now, once we reach 109, yeah.
I'm going to go to the airport to pick up.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Okay.
All right, I'm coming with you.
Huh?
Yeah, you told me you want me to come with you.
Hemant is coming. You want to go?
No, I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. All right.
Do you want something?
No, it's okay. I want to order it in.
Okay.
Sorry about the delay about that. Let's read Mission Impossible. Rogue Nation. Once we reach 190. Yep, we're almost there. After keeping out the A-14 Airbus cargo airplane with a shipment of nerve gas preventing it failing into terrorist lands, Impossible Force Mission Agent Ethan Hunt is determined to prove the existence of the syndicates consort of rogue agents of various intelligence agencies, which CIA believe does not exist. During the debriefing in London, IMF station disguised as a record shop, Hunt is forced to watch a fellow agent taken out by a blonde woman in glasses as he gasped unconscious, captured by the syndicate. And Washington, D.C. CIA Director Alan Hunley, skeptical of this syndicate existence, convinced the Senate committee to disband the IMF, currently is withhold without a secretary, and transfers his assets to the CIA due to recent events. Hunt escapes being tortured by ex-KGB operative Janik to Bone Direct Venture with the help of disavowed MI6 agent Nelson Faust, who appreciates the work being working undercover. 6 months later, Hunt receives a fugitive from the CIA, a special agent activity division, to a decoy safe house in Nevada. Hunt pursues the man, oversaws his capture, and takes out the agent to the Vienna State Opera, where the syndicate assassinates the Chancellor of Austria. Despite the efforts of Hunt and former colleague Benjamin Dunn, Faust leaves Hunt with clues to find her, where he and Dunn learn that the syndicate is an anti-IMF working against the established world order through terrorist act. Dunn chose to stay with Hunt instead of reporting to the CIA despite Hunt's protest. You know, this movie was released on July 31st, 2015. Like you guys said, I don't know if you guys are tired or if you guys are keeping going. But like you said, we're moving as fast as we can. Right now, our goal is to reach 200. If we can do that, nothing's impossible. But I don't know if we're in the 3 hour mark or we're still in the 2 hour mark right now. So we're doing everything we can and possible. One thing about doing a live feed, I don't know if anyone's watching. You know, our goal is to reach right now. Once we reach 195, I will finish the rest of the story. And maybe I'll read others too someday. Or I'm going to take another day off. What is my goal? To get to 4,000 watch hours. And right now, I think it's physically impossible to do it right now. Everyone says it can be done, but right now we're doing everything we can to do what we can. Don't ever rush. Alright, we're on 95, so let's finish. Blaming Hunt and Dunn for the Chancellor's death, Hunt orders that be taken out. Ex-IMF turned CIA agent William Brandt contacts Luther Stick to find them. He tracks the trio to Casablanca. Hunt and Dunn met Faust there at a syndicated safe house where an identified man with glasses is an ex-IMF MI6 agent Solomon Lane. The trio swapped data cards in their water facility to steal a digital syndicate disk which False claims a ledger containing names of all syndicate operators. False flees with the disk with a high-speed chase, hoping it will earn a reinstatement. But MI6 chief Atlee forced her to maintain her cover. She delivers the data to Lane, but the disk is blank. And the team an additional copy of the disk when they discover the encrypted red box unlocked only by the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. They confront Faust in London, realize Atlee wiped her disk. The syndicate abducts Dunn, forcing Hunt to agree to decrypt the only remaining copy of the disk to Lane. As Hunt prepares to kidnap PM, Brand informs Hunley that where he meets Brandt, Atlee, and PM at an Oxford charity event. The PM confirms that the syndicate was a project proposed by Atlee to recruit disavowed agents for intelligence agencies for clandestine missions, which PM rejected as too extreme. Atlee reveals himself as Hunt in disguise when Brandon on the plan secures the PM biometrics, allowing Stickwell to decrypt the data. Atlee arrives and forced to admit that he created the syndicate without permission and covering the existence after Lane hijacked his own ends. Luther, who decrypted the disk, and find out that it's not a ledger containing the names of syndicate operatives. It's a file containing $2.4 billion in numerous bank accounts, which will allow Lane to fund syndicates for decades. Hunt destroys the disk and meets the Faust outside the Tower of London, where he finds Dunn. Forced to wear a time explosive, Hunt explains that he has mesmerized the accounts. Lane disarms the explosive and free Dunn. While Hunt and Faust chased by Lane's Ben, Faust takes out Vinter in a knife fight and lures Lane inside a bulletproof glass ceiling, gassing him unconscious. With Lane in custody, Hunt lets Faust escape. Having seen an IMF operation success firsthand, Hundley returns to Brent to the Senate committee and covers Hunt and his team, claiming that the previous acts were part of a plan to help Hunt and his team eliminate the syndicate and persuade them to reinstate IMF. Outside, Brent congratulates Hundley as new IMF secretary. Yep, this is Mission Impossible Fallout. Before the next one will start in 2023, and that's in a few months. They're going to do 2 of them right now. We're 199. So we're almost that close to reaching our goal. The Mission Impossible Fallout, I'm not going to read it because we're almost out of time. I don't know if you guys are really tired right now, but I am. Well, right now we're trying to reach our goal of 200. And we're about to be there in a couple minutes, a couple seconds. Well, congratulations, we're in 200. But right now, let's reach the 201 before I close this thing. Well, I want to say thank you. If any of you guys are still there, any of you guys are still there, still watching, I'm glad you guys were there for me to watch the entire area. Right now, I was here to critique the mission, tell you about the Top Gun Maverick and Jurassic World Dominion, but also read the Jurassic Park film series and the Mission Impossible film series and the Top Gun. Well, I was trying to keep myself ahead, and I also want to tell you about the Major League Baseball prediction about who might win the pennant. But I think it might be the Yankees. They're winning, and the Guardians are 4 runs down. So it's going to be the New York Yankees are going to going to the American League Championship. If they can beat the Astros 4 games, they go to the series. That's it. I'm Bobby Cinema. Goodbye and good luck.